What's good, YouTube? Welcome back, Kenju Clan. My name is Kenny Plug. Please sit back, relax, and connect with me while I tell y'all some stories about working. Now, getting a job is scary. One day you're getting hired, the next day you've been working there for a year, and you're one of the main characters for the Walgreens stocking team. Yeah, time goes by fast, except when you're on the shift. And I've been a working man since I was 16, mainly because a nigga was broke and selling crack wasn't an option because I didn't want to go to a penitentiary full of penises for selling crack. So I decided to just give my black ass a job because I wasn't built like that. And I have a few scary stories, disturbing stories. Being in the streets is scary, but getting a 9 to 5 can be just as scary sometimes. But let's be realistic. Getting a job ain't as scary as being in the streets. But we're gonna start with the story I called the J.C. Penney Peeper. So there was a phase I went through where I said I wouldn't work in fast food no more. And then I found myself in retail. Now I decided to get a job at JCPenney for a very stupid reason. I thought since I worked at JCPenney, I was gonna get all the hoes. Like the hoes is there, so why would I not get them there? But I found out just because you sell panties don't mean you getting pussy. But I was hired by a black queen with a boozy fade that was blonde. And she was giving me my orientation, telling me about the job and the dress code. And the dress code was so ass. You had to come in dressed sophisticatedly with some red and black. So I used to wear a red turtleneck with some black slacks and some crocodile shoes. Them crocodile shoes was black and they was fresh. I ain't even gonna lie. But she gave me the rundown and then she said, watch out for a man who dresses up like a pimp, who's homeless, and he peeps under the dressing rooms. Huh? She hit me with a lot there. So I said, what? She said, watch out for him. Don't do anything. Just let me know so I can call the police. I said, okay. And working there for a few months, I was kind of waiting on it for it to happen, bro. I was waiting to see this nigga because the job was boring. It was so boring. I spent the 8 hours folding clothes that people messed up. So boring. But one day, it had happened. I was folding up a shirt and in walked in this pimp. He had a fresh suit with a cane. He came in limping. He was looking like, yeah, he came in with a fresh, like, purple suit, but he was ugly and black as hell. And his lips was pink as fuck, and he had, like, bad skin. He looked like an old man as a Crunch Bar in a nice suit. He looked like a Crunch Bar, a Nestle's Crunch Bar in a nice suit. I lie to you not. He passed me, and I got a whiff of him. This nigga stank. I can see why he don't have the hose because wow, nah, you can talk as much as you want, but if your breath hot, you're not convincing nobody to do nothing for you. But he walked past me. I'm looking at him. I'm scoping him now. I got my eyes on him, locked. And he goes to the dressing room. He doesn't make it slick at all. He just grabs his phone out. He just grabs his phone out. Like that. Like that. So I walk up to him and said, sir, what are you doing? He said, I ain't doing nothing. You don't need to worry about it, young blood. You don't need to worry about it. What I do, I thought, what would my mom do in this situation? So I said, if you don't get your black, crusty, crunchy ass away from this dressing room, he rose up and he said, what? What he did was pulled out a knife. Oh, I'm hurt. Now listen, I would have been pissing. I would have been so scared if this knife was longer than the pubic hair on my balls. And it wasn't. It was such a small butterfly knife. And like the manager wasn't around, so that's why I'm acting on my own. So he pulls out this knife. I look this nigga directly in his face, pull out my phone, and do my best Karen impression and say, I'm calling the cops. He ran out. He didn't run out the store. He like frantically jogged bow-legged. He was like running like he was special, like he was remedial. But I wasn't gonna chase him because he smelled like dick cheese. But yeah, I worked at JCPenney for like a few more months and then I quit. And then I never saw. Well, I actually saw him like walking through the city just to strut. But next, this story I like to call Ratatouille Visits Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut was actually my first and second job. The second time I got hired as a dishwasher. I got hired by this guy named Ron. Ron the Remedial. I call him that because he's stupid and he talks so slow. He was like, yeah, so what you're gonna be doing is washing the dishes thoroughly, making sure that all the germs are not on the dishes. He talked so slow and stupid and it made me mad. Plus, his face was always greasy and he had like big ass pimples that looked like the pepperonis for the pizza. He looked like a pizza making the pizzas. One day, I clocked into work. I go back to the dishwashing station, my station where I do my work at. I get there, I look down, and there's a rat at the sewer drain just going ham on some cheese that was there. What I do? I go to Ron because I'm not finna deal with this. My name is Jamez. It's not Tom. And I'm more of an asshole or a dick than I am a pussy. So I'm not finna chase this rat around Pizza Hut. So I go to my manager, and what does he say? He gonna look me dead in my eyeballs, dead in my face, my eyeballs that I saw the rat with, and he gonna say, "You didn't see a rat? No, I think you're confused. There's no rats in here. We have a B health rating. So I don't know what you saw, but I think you need to get your eyes checked." I said, "What? Hold up." Like, so I couldn't believe what I just heard. So I just had to take a step out. I couldn't believe that he just said this to me. And at the time, my mom had got me this job. I was like 17 or some shit. I called my mom and I told her about what happened. And she said, "What? I'm coming down there to pick you up right now. You're not working there no more." So she came down there. She walked in and she started calling Ron all type of dirty bitches, all type of smelly, musty, greasy, stinking, trifling. It was bad. Ron had a mental breakdown. I kind of felt bad for him, but at the same time, fuck him. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I just don't want to lose. We have a B health rating. I just don't want to lose that." She said, "I'll see you in hell," because that B rating, you can kiss that goodbye. Because she called the health inspector in front of this nigga. And yeah, it was bad. It was bad, not even gonna lie. I did feel bad for that situation because that Pizza Hut did get shut down. But at the same time, my mom was going off like, "I have my children's birthday party here, and you got rodents in here, and you gonna tell my son that he didn't see a rodent?" So yeah, she was going off. But next, we got the Sunny Subway scammer. Listen, I know all Indian people aren't scammers, just like all black people aren't niggas and gangbangers and things of that nature. But a lot of yeah, I, Sonny from Subway is the reason why I stereotype. He's the one who hired me, and I should have known that this wasn't gonna be a good job because the interview he had with me was so fucking rude. He couldn't even get my name right. He's like, "Oh, so Jabez, you start the 15th of May." I said, "Okay." "Hello, sir. How you doing? I'm so excited to be applying for this position."
Okay. Do you have criminal record?
No. I said on my application that I don't.
Okay. Are you involved in criminal activity?
No. That's why I'm getting the job. If I was selling crack, I wouldn't be at
Okay.
Subway.
On your application, you left blank. Are you black? Are you black?
Obviously.
I'm sorry. We're just gonna have to look for other people for this position.
You're brown too, bro.
You.
So I came in the 15th, and I immediately noticed it's not a thing that I could say that he did, but it's the way he acted. He acted like he hated me. It was like, "Jamez, get that now. You get that now." And I noticed something. I noticed why he was a dick during the interview because all the workers he had were black women with fat asses. Every single employee had at least 6 inches of ass, and I wanted to eat fresh. But for some reason, he didn't like me, and I don't even know why he hired me. I guess he had to hit the diversity thing or whatever, or he needed a nigga to unload the truck. So this nigga would do a little annoying shit, like when it's busy as hell, he would stop helping us, leave me alone to go flirt with the big booty light skinned grandma that's trying to get some Subway sandwiches for her grandkids. This man in her ear like, yeah, free school lunch. All you have to do, eat this dick, free food, free sub. And it was just annoying. And I ended up getting fired. This was my fault because like I was flirting with one of the girls and she'd asked to see my dick and I pulled it up on my phone and then Sonny had walked past and he had got jealous of the BBC. 12 hours later, I was fired. But I noticed my last check, $200 was missing off that check. I said, oh no. I called him up immediately and I said, hey, I broke it down. I broke it mathematically down. So he couldn't like there's mm-mm. I gave him professional math. And he said, okay, we meet at coffee shop. We ended up meeting at a coffee shop. I told him these are the everything I told him on the phone didn't really fucking matter because I got in this nigga's face and he said, okay, how much do I owe you? So I scammed the scammer, bro. I said this nigga owed me an extra $50. And I really could have got more if I would have went to the courts because how the fuck do you short me on a government tax check? Or maybe Subway doesn't do taxes. But yeah, either way, it was some bullshit. Fuck you, Sonny. Stinking bitch. But until next time, I hope y'all enjoyed the stories. Please like, subscribe like you always do. And until next time, I'll see you later.